It represents both the commercial and artistic interests of the film industry, elevating both small independently funded movies and gigantic blockbusters by giving out coveted awards for almost 100 years. The Best Picture Award is the most coveted of the Academy's prizes, representing the best that the year's films had to offer. Once the Oscars expanded the pool of Best Picture nominees to 10 in 2009, the breadth of films that were able to be represented by the ceremony was able to better encompass a cross-section of the year in film. The 97th Academy Awards nominees for Best Picture represent a sprawling look at what movies made an impact in 2024.10. Emilia Pérez is a divisive nominee. One of the most awarded films by the Golden Globes, considered the beginning of the lengthy film award season, Jacques Audiard's musical drama has quickly become one of the most divisive films of 2024. Emilia Pérez stars Carla Sofia Gaskin as Emilia, a cartel kingpin who wants to secretly undergo gender-affirming surgery and hires a lawyer named Rita Mora Castro, played by Zoe Saldana, to help her. The film has been met with mixed reviews from many audiences and critics, particularly from members of both the transgender community and Latinos viewers, with some people in both communities taking issue with the film's portrayal of the main character. Regardless, Gaskin has made history by being the first transgender woman to be nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars, and the film has earned the most nominations of any non-English language film. 9. A Complete Unknown is a classic biopic mainstay of movie award seasons. Biographical movies about prominent historic, artistic and revolutionary people often dominate with the Academy, usually driven by a lead performance where an actor transforms into a public figure. One of this year's major contenders in the biopic category, James Mangold's A Complete Unknown, is a classic of the genre, following legendary folk and rock musician Bob Dylan as he becomes a dominant cultural. A Complete Unknown is anchored by a central performance by Timothée Chalamet as Dylan, who perfectly captures the energy of a tortured genius who grapples with straddling the worlds of folk music and countercultural rock sensibilities. Chalamet recorded all the music for the film live on set, learning how to play the guitar and harmonica to capture the lightning-in-a-bottle moments of Dylan's career. Force in the 1960s. 8. Wicked is a huge box office success. The expansion of the Best Picture nomination pool to 10 films was, at least in part, due to uproar surrounding the nominees at the 81st Academy Awards, where audiences were baffled that critically acclaimed and high box office earning films like The Dark Knight and WALL-E didn't make the cut. Nowadays, space has been opened up for films like Top Gun, Maverick, Avatar, The Way of Water and Barbie to be represented among the best of the year. One of the highest grossing movies of 2024, John M. Chu's Wicked was a huge critical and box office success in a year where the highest grossing films were mostly from the ever-dominant animated and superhero blockbuster market. Wicked is an adaptation of the hit Broadway musical that serves as an origin story for the Wicked Witch of the West from the classic film The Wizard of Oz, as played by Cynthia Erivo. 7. The Substance is a great body horror film. Awards voting bodies love nominating films and actors who exemplify some manner of comeback story, typically a performer who previously had a more culturally dominant career and is returning to the spotlight through a more risky or artistic independent work. Award winners of recent years like Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once and Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club represent the best of the comeback story. The biggest comeback narrative in 2024 comes as a part of Coralie Fargeet's excellent body horror film The Substance, featuring an electric performance from 1990s icon Demi Moore. In the film, Moore plays Elizabeth Sparkle, a former Hollywood star who is fired from her aerobics TV show because she has just turned 50. She takes an experimental drug to turn into a younger version of herself. 6. Nickel Boys experiments with filming techniques to make a unique period piece. Period pieces often dominate at award ceremonies, with audiences and critics responding strongly to movies that can take unique perspectives on the past that can continue to shine a light on social and political issues of the present. Based on a 2019 novel of the same name by Colson Whitehead, the award-winning author of the excellent novel The Underground Railroad, Nickel Boys is a fantastic period piece about 1960s Florida. The film follows two young black men named Elwood and Turner, played by Ethan Harris and Brandon Wilson, who are sent to a reform school that was inspired by the abusive and infamous Dozier School for Boys. The film is shot in a first-person point-of-view style, which has been highly regarded as one of the main reasons why the narrative is so affecting. 5. Dune. Part 2 continues the epic story of Paul II of two Timothée Chalamet-led films to be nominated for Best Picture at the 97th Academy Awards. Dune. Part 2 is one of the biggest blockbusters of 2024 and one of the most successful novel adaptations in recent years. A follow-up to Denis Villeneuve's fantastic Dune, Part 2 continues the adaptation of Frank Herbert's influential science fiction epic, telling the story of a young man named Paul Atreides who must navigate the political and existential threats of his lineage and destiny. The film features an incredible cast of supporting actors. It includes excellent performances from Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Stellan Skarsgård and Rebecca Ferguson, but is anchored by the awe-inspiring lead performances from both Chalamet and Zendaya as Paul's desert-dwelling partner, Chani. The movie represents a profound technical achievement, with some of the best sound design, special effects, cinematography, and film scoring of 2024. 4. Conclave is Edward Berger's follow-up to an Oscar win 2 years ago following up his adaptation of the classic 1929 war novel All Quiet on the Western Front, which won Best International Feature at the 95th Academy Awards 2 years ago. Austrian and Swiss director Edward Berger moved to create a more commercially successful political thriller, itself based on a more recent novel. Conclave stars Ralph Fiennes as Cardinal Thomas Lawrence, the Dean of the College of Cardinals who is forced to investigate several of his colleagues when the Pope dies. The film features a fantastic cast of character actors, including Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow and Isabella Rossellini, and was tied with Wicked for the most nominations at the 30th Critics' Choice Awards earlier in the award season. The film was lauded by critics, many of whom respected how the movie represented many of the quieter and more adult thrillers that rarely get significant traction at the box office now. 3. Anora features a powerhouse leading performance director. Sean Baker has cultivated a huge cult following among audiences and critics alike, with many citing his uncanny ability to cast lesser-known actors and real people to tell heartbreakingly honest stories about the folks that society forgets. Be it the residents of a budget motel near Walt Disney World in the Florida Project or a retired porn star returning to his home in Texas in Red Rocket, Baker's unique perspective is fascinating. Arguably the best film of the year, Anora, Baker succeeds at this endeavor better than he ever has before, thanks in part to a stunning lead performance from relative newcomer Mikey Madison. In the film, Madison plays Ani, a sex worker in Brooklyn who becomes embroiled in a seedy familial drama when she agrees to marry one of her clients, the immature son of a wealthy Russian oligarch. 2. The Brutalist is the frontrunner for Best Picture following up his interesting but financially unsuccessful film Vox Lux. Actor-turned-director Brady Corbett surprised audiences and critics with his already award-winning film The Brutalist. The film stars Adrian Brody as Laszlo Toth, a Holocaust survivor and architect who immigrates to the United States and struggles to capture the American dream as he seeks work and fulfillment. The Brutalist is the presumptive frontrunner for the Best Picture prize at the Academy Awards this year, as it has been nominated for 10 Oscars and already won Best Motion Picture Drama at the 82nd Golden Globe Awards just a few weeks ago. The film has been cited by many critics and filmmakers as one of their favorites of 2024, with many specifically saying that Brody's performance captures the essence of the immigrant experience in America. 1. I'm Still Here is the best-reviewed Oscar nominee this year, already one of the highest-rated movies of the 2020s, and one of the most critically acclaimed films of 2024. Walter Salles' I'm Still Here is a profound look at the struggles of people who are fighting against a fascist government. The movie stars Fernanda Torres as Eunice Paiva, the wife of a former congressional representative in Brazil who is forced to disappear when a military dictatorship he openly opposed takes over the country. Based on the lives of real political dissidents and activists in 1970s Sao Paulo, I'm Still Here has been a surprisingly successful film in the United States, earning almost 10 times its budget back at the box office. This is despite the fact that the film has been subjected to smear campaigns by modern far-right Brazilian political figures.